So hello, welcome to the video and welcome to Heathrow's Terminal 3 again. I'm flying from here today with British Airways on one of their services that operates from this terminal down to Sao Paulo, where it's going to be considerably warmer than it is here, and I'll be flying with them in business class. Now, back in the year 2000, BA revolutionised business class travel by introducing an entirely new product where everybody in the cabin got a lie flat bed. It's difficult to overstate how revolutionary this was. Then for the next 18 years, BA sat back thinking, wow, we were good, weren't we? And did pretty much nothing about it except for a small refresh in 2006. In that time, almost all of BA's competitors caught up with this product, and indeed many of them overtook it. Then finally, in 2019, BA realised that they needed to do something, so they introduced their next generation business class product, which they called the Club Suite. And that's what I'm going to be flying today. Now, nobody will argue that it catapulted BA ahead of its competitors with a world-leading product, but I think most people agree that it has brought BA back in line with its competitors, so they now have a competitive product. So it's 2024, the seat's been around for 4 or 5 years, and today, for the first time, I'm actually going to fly on it. Now, I have booked to fly on it 4 times previously, but the you-know-what and various other complications mean that none of those bookings ever actually happened. But today, equipment changes notwithstanding, I am very confident that I will finally get to experience this product. So if you're one of the handful of people who have no idea what the BA Club Suite is like, or if you know what it's like and very much like to see what I think of it, then stick around.
Hi, I'm Matt, and this is Matt's Planet. I aim to entertain, educate and inspire with my travel adventures from planning to execution. I'll show you how you can travel in style for a lot less than you'd think. So subscribe so you can come with me.
So into the terminal and out of the cold. I was dressed lightly as I didn't want to lug a heavy coat around Brazil where it was the height of summer and I really wouldn't need it. Downstairs in Terminal 3 is quite grim. They seem to have taken some of the ceiling panels out, perhaps in an attempt to make it feel less claustrophobic, but I'm not sure it worked. I had printed out a boarding pass, so I skipped past the check-in area and took the escalator to the departures level. That turned out to be quite a direct way of getting to the fast-track security lane. This was around 4 PM and it was very, very quiet, so I was through security really quickly. I was able to use the new scanning machines too, which don't require you to take stuff out of your bag. Using them gives you a 2-litre limit on liquids as well, although as it's still a lottery as to whether you'll get one of these new scanners, it's still a brave move to include such large liquids in your bag. I was only silver with BA when I travelled. Oh, the shame! So I only had 4 lounges to choose from on this visit. Check out this video for a review of the 7 lounges you can access if you have One World Emerald status, which is equivalent to BA Gold. I had a few hours to kill and split my time very comfortably between the Cathay and Qantas business lounges. I tried hard not to drink or eat too much before boarding so I could enjoy the onboard catering, but it's hard to turn down the chance to have some of Qantas's salt and pepper squid. I headed to the gate and was almost immediately recognised by one of the gate agents. I'll obscure his identity so as to not get him in trouble. He very kindly asked if I'd like to pre-board, so as soon as the plane was ready I was summoned forwards. It was very nice of him to offer, even if it was a little awkward to have everyone looking at me as I made my way through, but it meant I was first aboard and could film the cabin without bothering any other passengers. The old BA club layout was actually a 2-4-2 configuration where half the seats had access to the aisle. This new-ish club suite is 1-2-1 with all seats having aisle access. There's pretty much the same number of seats in this cabin as there was in the old one, so although there's much more width to each seat, the sacrifice is in the seat's length, meaning your feet have to slide under the seat in front of you when you're in flatbed mode, the infamous foot cubby on which there will be more later. It's a good looking cabin, darker colours than you'll find in many business class cabins, but I think there's an elegance to it. You'll notice that whilst the middle seats are the obvious choice for couples travelling together, they're not laid out in a way that facilitates cosy chats. This was an A350-1000. It was actually the first one delivered to BA 4.5 years earlier, and it still looked in pretty good nick. The window seats are angled towards the window to facilitate the nesting of the foot cubbies. So into the seat, and there's a large fixed screen right in front of you. Being able to deliver gate-to-gate entertainment is considered important, and BA gets full marks here. Lots and lots of knee room. Indeed, it's hard to rest your feet on the ottoman when the seat is upright. I'm 6'4" and could only just manage it. A huge criticism of the old BA seat was the lack of storage. That's not a problem here. This deep space also houses the remote, headphone socket and charging points, a universal plug plus I think 2 USB ports. A shallow vertical unit back here which housed water and the amenity kit. It is designed around a literature slot, but BA is yet to bring back its in-flight magazine. And a third shallower space which is perfect for glasses and hearing aids and the like. A good sturdy build quality too, and quite a substantial surface area when the bins are closed, which is handy in flight. Underneath is a seat control panel which I don't seem to have fully demonstrated in this footage. Talking of the amenity kit, it had the basics but not a whole lot more. Always nice to get a pen though. The table is stored below the TV, and once you work out the mechanism, it gently descends into position. Quite a pleasing movement actually, and a sturdy surface. That intermediate station allows you to get out of the seat with the table deployed. The seat itself has some nice detailing, and you can see the cocooning provided by the seat's shell. A reading light, that vertical cupboard again for context, and on the other side is the door. Do not pull on the red handle. And to your right is an armrest. No storage here, but it does rise and descend. A substantial pillow and a package of white company bedding was also on the seat when boarding. Above you is another reading light, but to prove that cost was an object when BA designed this seat, there are no personal air vents. I'd been gold when I booked this trip, so I had picked seat 1A, partly as these front seats on other airlines can come with a little extra space as there's no one in front of you. Not on BA though. You can just see that BA uses the space for galley storage. More on the issues my close proximity to the galley presented later in the video. Thimbles of champagne were distributed, which I didn't really film for some reason. No refills were offered, and I have to say the crew all looked really busy and quite stressed as they prepped for the flight. The A350 has a reputation for being a difficult plane for the crew to operate, and I didn't get happy vibes from them at the start of the flight. But we pushed back on time and got to play C-list celebrity bingo as the safety video played. Robert Peston for the win. As the seat is on an angle, you are required to wear a 3-point safety belt for takeoff. Not a big deal, but it is a little fiddly to attach. And up into a chill winter's night for the 10.5-hour run down to Sao Paulo. This flight was the outbound half of a redemption I made using a Barclays upgrade that isn't an upgrade voucher. See this video for what that means. That meant I paid the Avios cost of a premium economy redemption, which was 50,000 Avios, plus the business class taxes, which were £275. So if you value an Avio at 1p, this flight cost me only 775 quid. I flew back from Rio in another club suite on a converted 777, which cost the same, so it was 100,000 Avios plus 550 quid for a round trip in business class to Brazil. Redemption availability can be tight on these routes, but it was decent when I booked this 8 months before travel. Service started with a hot towel, cue footage of a used towel, and not long after a drink arrived. Orders had been taken at the gate and I went for a gin and tonic. A snack accompanied this, still in the packaging. It's a small thing, but it's a really unpremium look. It contrasted sharply with the high quality glassware BA uses. Cheers! Behind me, you'll see the door. This seems to be the Achilles heel of the seat. After takeoff, the doors are unlocked and they start off sliding gently into place. They're not that high, so the sense of privacy is a little illusory, as everyone over 4'6" can easily see over the partition, but it's a nice benefit of this seat. My door actually broke on both of my club suite flights on this trip. On this flight, it couldn't be locked back into position for landing. Quoting the flight attendant who was wrestling with it, they are often a right pain. The moving map is really quite good and can be controlled by the handset. A pretty good range of movies and TV were available. I think the headset was noise cancelling and was decent enough. I have moderate to severe hearing loss, so I'm never going to be an expert on that particular topic. Quite a clever design feature in that the storage unit closes without choking any cabling that is connected inside. The menu was okay. There's 56 business seats in the cabin and we were chock full that night, so 2 protein options is one light in my opinion. Unlike the world's best business classes, BA does not offer a broader menu to choose from before the flight. And the drinks menu was only okay too, a decent wine choice, but I compared it to a club flight I took in 2021 and the bourbon and cognac options have been dropped. It's not really a rounded premium offering anymore. What food they did have was sourced from Dough & Co, who are very good. I started with the trout, delivered with the salad and some bread. The trout was excellent, so excellent that I felt compelled to break my "don't show me eating" rule. Om nom nom, as the young people say. Next I took the beef rather than the steak, as you'll remember I don't do steaks on a plane. Again, this was very good, accompanied by the rioja, which was happily refilled once the service was underway. My lack of a sweet tooth always leads me to the cheese. I would normally have enjoyed this with a cognac, but had to make do with the port as the cognac has been enhanced away. Then I finished one of my favourite movies in the privacy of my suite. Remember, don't pull the red handle, even though the redness of it makes it eminently pullable. A quick loo visit. 1 or 2 somewhat obvious maintenance issues, but it was clean and had all I needed for a comfortable visit. Time to sleep, and the seat smoothly converts into a flat bed. No assistance is provided by the crew. Again, you might expect that on an airline trying to be more premium. The White Company bedding included a fairly skinny mattress topper. I think I had it the wrong way round in this shot. It was good quality, but it was really quite thin and short, plus a large blanket not shown. It was fairly comfortable, but the foot cubby was tight. I'm not quite fully flat here, but when I was, I could only get one leg straight at a time. I took another shot of it in better light, and you can see that there were a couple of lumps and rivets sticking into the cubby, which made it quite hard to get comfortable. And there's a lot more leg space on the window side of this port side seat, so sleeping on your left side gave your knees some room, whilst lying on your right was quite tricky. A good sense of privacy though with the door closed, although you can still see everyone walking past. I slept on and off for perhaps 5 hours and felt refreshed, although I've had much better sleeps on other planes. And remember, I am 6'4", so it's always going to be harder for me, whatever the seat. It was a beautiful dawn to wake up to though, and breakfast was soon served. I wasn't all that hungry as it wasn't that long since dinner, but I went for the omelette. It was really rich, really rich, and was a bit of a struggle to eat if I'm completely honest. I'll quickly mention the Wi-Fi. I like the sense of freedom that comes with being uncontactable on a plane, unless the Wi-Fi is free of course, in which case I'll lap it up. But I don't think this was extortionate for a 10+ hour flight, but without buying the plan I couldn't test the speed. And down into Sao Paulo. So what did I think of the experience? I said in the intro that I wasn't expecting BA to have leapt ahead of their competition with this product, and they haven't. It looks like a great product, but if you study the elements of the offering, you quickly find a flaw in each of them, which undermines the overall quality of the experience. The seat is comfortable and is well designed. There's plenty of storage, plenty of space, and a good entertainment system, but it's let down by the sleeping positions it offers for taller passengers at least. Indeed, and this will be controversial, if you're tall and you want to sleep, the old club dormitory seat is probably the better option. Plus there's no air vents and the doors keep breaking. The food from Dough & Co was really good, but the offering was narrow and there's a couple of shortcuts taken that cheapen the experience. Offering snacks still in their plastic wrapper is just lazy. And the drinks were good, but BA has decided to optimise away the 2 offerings I actually quite look forward to when flying, bourbon and cognac. The crew were great, but they were really stressed when they were setting up, and that sort of echoed back onto the passengers. When deciding on the layout of the plane, BA decided they'd service the entire 56-seat club cabin from one galley at the front, and it's a small space for such a big operation. During my flight, the forward lavatory was taken out of action for the duration of the dinner service, as it's just too challenging to deliver the meal with passengers traipsing through. I'd heard stories that some crews decommissioned the lavatory for the entire flight, but ours was available outside of that hour of the dinner service. I used it during the breakfast service and I could see how stressful it was for the crew. BA has stopped using trolleys during club class service too, so everything has to be hand carried back and forth. The crew really gets their steps in on flights like this. But despite all of this, the crew was great. I'd picked seat 1A to see if the gallery issues interfered at all with the passenger experience, and I'm pleased to say they didn't. Being served first was actually quite nice, and I'd probably recommend it. Off the plane, and it was a reasonable walk to the immigration desks. I'm perhaps being overcritical, as BA has got a lot more right with the seat than they've got wrong. I'd happily fly it again, and did so on my way back to the UK from Rio. I'll make a video about that experience, as some things will repeat whilst there'll be some new issues that cropped up. But it's not the best business class seat in the world. No business class is perfect, yet. But overall, I enjoyed recent flights on Singapore Air, Qatar and KLM more. And in some regards, my flights on Iberia and Virgin were also better. If BA can iron out some of the shortcomings, making that flaming door work being a prime example, they'll have a great product which will serve them well for many years. Perhaps not 18 years, but certainly a few. So thanks for watching. The acreage of tensor barriers suggested that it was a quiet time to arrive into Sao Paulo, even if it still took me around 35 minutes to get to the head of the immigration queue. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment. Have you flown on a BA Club suite? Please subscribe if you're new, and if you'd like to support what I'm doing more directly, there is a Patreon account, the link to which is in the description below. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.